Hello, darlings. It's Karen Stonecutter here. We lost our amulets that give us our magic powers, so in order to get them back, we went underground where these horrid, ickery creatures called mimics seemed to be testing us. My test was up first, and since I said my domain was mentorship, the mimics wanted me to coach my friends into doing things that I could do myself. First, they had to cross a ravine. Second, they had to punch down a brick wall. And finally, they had to pull apart Scraps and Azus Diamond Heart, just like I did back in the Underdark. Not to worry, I was able to coach them through all of it, and the mimics passed me. Next up, we were about to take Idopher's test, but we seem to have been rudely interrupted by Master Speck, who says he's here to recruit Idopher away from us. No way is he getting his hands on my janitor.
Kia ora everybody and welcome to the terrible adventures of the Janice and Breathitt's Parchment Company. My name is Penny D. I'm going to be your DM today, and I kind of claim to be a bit of a movie buff, but when it comes right down to it, my favourite movie is actually Super Troopers. I know, like, I went to film school and everyone was like, oh, I love this like old like French director, and I'm just like, these guys are the actors and the filmmakers. I just think Broken Lizard is really cool, and they've got a lot of good movies, and Super Troopers is a classic, and it will never be a bad movie. So, you know.
Every time it's a good movie, and you go, what movie should I watch? It's Super Troopers.
Yeah, it's always very good.
It's always on the roster.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. We didn't decide on the order that we go, so let's start with Poppy and go clockwise.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Hello, I'm Poppy. I play Idopher the Tiefling Rogue. This is really hard. There's so many films that I could quite easily go back to, but I have to admit, I think Shrek 2 is definitely up there.
Oh my god, you're so right though.
It wouldn't be JBPC if someone didn't bring up Shrek.
Well, like, that is one movie that I can almost definitely do word for word.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And like, that set piece at the end with like the huge gingerbread man and the fairy godmothers singing in the background, it's like, it's actually amazing.
I actually want to watch that movie with you so that you could do all the lines.
Oh god, do you really want that?
Yeah.
Because I hate when people do that to me.
I can do that with The Lion King, but I want to hear you do it
But
with
yeah,
Shrek
so
2.
Shrek 2 I think would actually be, like, there's some other contenders, but Shrek 2 I think is the one.
No, Shrek 2 is a great call. My name's Liz, and I play Karen, the Dwarven Barbarian, and the movie I keep coming back to, and it's the one that I most recently watched out of my favourite kind of top 5. It's Legally Blonde.
Oh hell yeah.
Such a good movie.
Love Legally Blonde.
I just feel so powerful when I watch it.
Yeah.
And every time I get something new out of it, and it's great, and there's so many people on the internet who love Legally Blonde, and they do like really intelligent breakdowns of Legally Blonde, and it's just a really good movie. Don't bother watching the second one, it's not as good.
No,
but
of course not. No,
yeah.
The first one's a classic. You can't recapture that lightning in a bottle.
Oh god, it's so good. I can't think of a single part of Legally Blonde that isn't instantly iconic. Yeah,
and also
exactly.
any movie that has Jennifer Coolidge
she was
in
amazing in it.
Bonus point.
It's just such a good movie. Anyway, Legally Blonde's my favourite movie, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Hi, I'm Nathan, and I play Flinbar the Halfling Bard. And my favourite movie at the moment is John Wick 3, because I really like the subway gun scene. Like, it was just so good.
I did really enjoy it, actually. Oh my god, same. He's had so much strife.
All he
I've never
wants
seen any of the John
is his
Wick
dog
movies.
back, and he's never going to get his
I
dog
think I
back.
should probably
I've
watch
only
them.
watched
You wanna
John
watch them
Wick
after this?
3.
Yeah.
I didn't
Cool,
watch
let's
the
do it.
first two.
Let's just watch all of them.
One after the other. Bam, bam, bam. That's the way they're meant to be experienced.
I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, and watch Legally Blonde in the middle and pretend it's like in the same universe. Like this dark man with this theory.
Just like a motorbike goes past in the background, you're like,
It's John!
It's John!
The lines are slightly changed, so it's like, I'm here to defend my client whose dog was stolen.
I love to see John Wick 4, which is Al defending him in court.
Yeah.
As they just like go through all of the violence that he did.
And somehow there's a gunfight in there.
And at one point he's dressed up all in pink. I don't know. I think that would be a good movie.
Yeah, I'd like
He
to
would
see
do
that.
it too, I can tell.
I absolutely.
Keanu Reeves, if you're listening. make this happen.
Yeah, that's it. And
I
hire
play
us to be in the
Frankie,
movie
the
too.
human art
Thanks,
expert.
thanks, Keanu.
My
Yeah,
favorite
thanks,
movie at the moment, or all time, I'm not sure. Would have to be Mean Girls. I watch it, and then I'm like, you know what? I'll watch Mean Girls again, and I'll just watch it again. And I know that movie also, line for line, like instantly. And I'm like, oh,
We have
Mean
good
Girls.
taste in movies.
I think we do.
No, we're really cool.
Because
I'll watch it with you,
genuinely
because I feel it's
enjoy
very
it.
good.
So when
It's
did
so
the films
funny.
come out? Is
In
it
like
early
Yeah.
2000s,
It took me a
the
really long
graphics
time
are
to
beautiful.
really
when I
old
did,
movie.
I was like, why did I take so long for me to watch this movie? It's so good.
Don't bother watching the second one. It's horrible.
No.
But
It's a common theme.
but yeah, no, I mean,
I think that's why I like Shrek 2 the most, because it's the only sequel that I think is actually better than the original.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Shrek 2 is so good.
I agree.
Okay, well, this isn't a favorite movie podcast. This is a D&D podcast. So how about we jump in and we continue with Main of the Ordinary?
Let's do it.
You guys are in a room that is made of mimics. All the walls are like the swirling, inky, black ichor that you know is made of... Yeah, I stole Nate's word for ichor. I'm still using it. That you all know is like made of like tons of mimics, all just like in their base form. In front of you, Idopher, was a big muscly sword man who pointed at you and seemed to be wanting to fight you. Behind that man, a portal opened, and out of the portal stepped the one and only super hot genius hero Master Speck.
Oh my god.
He said to you, "Enough waiting, Idopher Balsa. I will not wait for you any longer. I'm here to recruit you. Let's go. And also, if you want, we can be boyfriends together."
And Ida looks back at Frankie.
Oh, yeah,
just
I
like,
You have the bone structure of a model,
yeah, I know.
and I'd love to have you by my side as we travel around the world and make the world a better place together and save everyone.
So there's nothing between me and this portal, eh?
Nope.
Okay,
Oh, well,
so-
Master Speck is in between you and the
but
portal.
Yeah. So I just calmly walk up and I just like, okay, back in you go, and I just push him back into the portal.
And
Return to
okay,
sender.
He's pretty strong, and you push at him, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
I'm like, well, you need to go back on your portal now.
All right, so that's a no.
Well, yeah, we're kind of busy right now.
What could be more important than saving the world?
Saving my friends.
Yeah, us.
Your friends aren't like you, Idopher. I've had my eye on you for a long time. You're special.
Okay, well I know that, but also we've got some stuff we need to do right now. Like, as you can see, we don't have our necklaces, our amulets.
I can teach you to do magic without them. You never needed them.
Okay, well I have actually been doing some of that. So with the help of Karen, thank you, Karen. I turn back.
Karen waves.
But in honesty, we kind of need to finish these trials, so we'll do this first. I can catch up with you later for a coffee if you like.
This is now or never.
Okay, well I guess it's a never then.
You're saying no? You're gonna stay with them?
Yes, I'm saying no to you, Master Speck, and I'm gonna hang out with my friends and finish this situation we're in. We'll probably catch you around.
And there's a chime. Big, loud bong. And Master Speck's like in a bit of a huff, and he turns around and he kind of draws his cape around with him. And on the back of the cape, you can see the little squiggly smiley face. And he goes to walk towards the portal, but the portal's also a mimic. And so he kind of looks back at the mimic is smiling at you, but the Master Speck super beautiful elf man looks back at you all forlorn, and then he just kind of sloops into the portal. And as the two mimics kind of merge and they sink into the floor together, from around you can hear a lot of whispering, but you do hear the words, "Idopher Balser, you are worthy."
Are you okay, Idopher?
Yeah, I'm all good. Why?
Well, I know that the janitor's life wasn't really for you, and I know that this whole thing kind of happened unexpectedly, and I do think you're special, and I do think that you're destined for great things.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you tell us all the time. That's why I like hanging out with you guys.
Tell me every day, God.
Idopher, you have passed your trial, the trial of loyalty.
Yay!
Yay!
The mimics begin to swirl, and you're kind of used to it now. They come in, and they swirl around you, and the four of you are kind of standing within just like a small square with the four of you, and then they come in quite close, and it takes them a lot longer. Like last time you had an empty room with a guy in it, but this time maybe for 10 minutes, they stand and they swirl around you.
Frankie is anxious and nervous.
Yeah, it's a bit claustrophobic in here, isn't it?
Do you think the original owners of the amulets had to go through something similar?
Maybe. I know that my amulet was 6, don't I?
Yes, yeah. You tell me though, like, has Frankie told you about 6? Like, have you guys had time to talk about 6 and like where Frankie met him and what their adventure was like? You would know because Quisp told you.
Yeah,
the
that's
names
what,
of the people who own the amulets before you. So yes, you would know that.
Okay, well, I know nothing about 6, but I'm like, yo, 6. Just kind of talking into the abyss. Just like, thanks, bruv. Just for reference, I kissed my fingers and then like put them up to the sky, you know, like...
Do you touch the mimic ichor while you're doing that?
No, I'm definitely going to not do that.
6 was a stand-up guy. He helped me out. There was
Oh,
some
wait,
tough,
what?
Tough guy times when I was in the floaty place.
6 was in the floaty place?
I thought we discussed this.
I mean, you were kind of shell-shocked.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't really want to push the issue, but if you feel ready to talk about it...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I met 6. I'm assuming that was his name. We couldn't talk, but we shared a connection that goes beyond verbal communication.
What did 6 look like?
6 was Dragonborn? Yeah, he was bronze Dragonborn. He was
Yo.
beautiful.
That's amazing.
Like the wisp's light just made him glitter, and I was in awe.
I am so glad that I got the cool one.
I think
I
I
mean-
have a better amulet for Frankie than the amulet of
We
a
all got
Yeah.
cool ones,
wizard and magic user,
actually.
considering how smart he is.
That's right.
And green really brings out my eyes.
And blue's my favourite colour.
Frankie, in your vision, you actually saw everyone's predecessors.
I actually know who everyone's predecessor is.
Oh,
Really?
Was mine handsome? Like me?
You are probably the most handsome person I've ever seen. You wanting me to elaborate on who's who?
Yeah, tell me about mine.
So, from what you saw when you saw Uzziah Jet slay the god, the wearer of the blue amulet was a Goliath, and the wearer of the green amulet was a female half-orc. Mimics begin to recede again. The space that you're in is a lot different to the last two. The floor is still made of marble, but there's big furniture in here. And Frankie, roll me in a history check.
Big furniture.
Someone's lounge.
Oh.
That's an 18.
Yeah, so you recognize the layout of this room. You can, like, the tattery chair is tattered in exactly the way that you remember from your childhood, and like the way that the bookshelf only has a couple of books on it, and like the thing is that everything's a little bit bigger than you would expect, and it kind of makes you feel like a child because of the size of everything. It's all exactly as you remember it when you were a little kid.
This is just like I
Oh.
remembered it.
Remember, is this your home, Frankie?
This is my home. But everything's slightly bigger.
This was your home before you moved into the shack that you currently live in.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
I'm like pointing out features. Oh, that's the door frame where I'd measure my height. That's over there where I bumped my head and I fell.
Aww.
As you point to the doorframe and mention that you measured your height there, some little markings with like numbers on them appear on the doorframe.
Good mimic.
Everybody roll me a perception check.
It is a 22 for Ida.
Karen got an 8.
Flynn 20.
Frankie 6.
Idopher and Flynn, you hear like a quiet sobbing, like muffled sobbing
Oh.
coming from nearby.
Frankie, can you hear that?
No, hear what?
There's like someone crying
I don't hear anyone crying.
I'm going to point towards the sound. and be
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna
"It's coming
go
from
towards it.
that direction." Don't go towards. Well, it's coming from that direction. What's over there in your house?
Idopher, you go towards the sound and you see what looks like a child, maybe 3 or 4 years old, hiding underneath, like, you know, a little table that goes next to an armchair, and like making themselves as small as possible and quietly crying.
And I'm just like, hey bud, are you okay?
The child looks up and you recognize them kind of through their hairstyle to be Frankie's oldest younger sister, whose name is Amanda.
Oldest younger sister, are
Frankie's
you?
got 3 younger sisters, so the oldest out of 3 of them. And you know that her name is Amanda. But when she looks up at you, she has like 7 eyes and like a squiggly, like a squiggly little mouth.
I'm just like, God, these freaking mimics.
They're trying their best.
But I'm gonna play the part. I'm like,
She
Amanda, right?
Just looks at you and continues crying. Roll me an insight check.
Okay. Oh, that's not ideal. That's 4. No, 5.
Maybe she doesn't understand you. She just looks at you, but she doesn't respond. She just keeps crying.
Okay, I'm gonna call Frankie over and be like, Frankie, there is a mimic over here that looks like your sister, one of your sisters. I feel like you probably have to deal with this.
But don't worry, Frankie. We'll come with you.
Oh yeah.
And Karen will hold on to Frankie's hand if he wants to he wants a hand to hold.
Frankie would like a hand to hold.
Flynn, do you also go?
I'm going to come in behind because I'm unsure about the situation.
Okay.
Oh, this is weird.
Frankie, you get in close and you do in fact recognize Amanda. She's you know for a fact that she's 5 when you lived here. And she's crying and she's making herself really small. And she looks up at you, Frankie, and she says perfectly in Amanda's voice, he just got home.
Oh, Frankie looks down. You know, like he's on his like knees, so he's getting down to child height. I learned that from the Super Nanny. And I'm just gonna play it that even though the mimic has 7 eyes, I think if Frankie was looking at her, he would see her as he remembers in this particular memory.
Yeah.
So Frankie would just like grab her gently and be like, his words might hurt you now, but just know you are so much stronger than you think you are. We'll get through it, and I promise I'll make it all better.
Oh.
And from behind you, there is a crash, like a really loud crash of a door being like swung open and hitting the wall behind it. And from like stepping out of the Icar wall and into the space, there is an enormous, huge, like 3 times as tall as you, big multi-mimic creature whose head, like you can't even see the head because it goes into the ceiling, but it's kind of like shoulders down. It's holding
like the secretary from Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Not as hot.
You can see it from the shoulders down. You know the green shirt. You know the like the bad pants and the bad smell, and you can see the bottle of liqueur in one hand and what looks like an infant baby in the other hand, and it crashes into the room and it says, "Where's my fucking dinner?"
Oh my.
Karen is immediately in front of everybody with her fists up.
As soon as Karen moves to do that, I'm like, Karen, this is for Frankie to deal with. And then I turn to Frankie, I'm like, Frankie, we got you.
Oh, Frankie, we'll always be here for you. And I'm sorry we weren't here for you back then.
This is like someone's diary. This is just rude.
I'm just like, what's going on? This is family drama.
Yeah.
And Karen's like, I'm going to fight your dad.
I'm going to fight your dad for you, Frankie.
Frankie just like sort of makes fists as he slowly stands up. He doesn't acknowledge what everyone else is saying, but he like staunchly walks over to his dad and tries to snatch the baby out of his arms. And
He's quite a bit taller than you, so you would have to stand on your tippy
I'm gonna
toes
do whatever I need to
to
do.
take the baby.
I'm going to try that.
Okay, what roll would you like to roll to take the baby from this man.
Baby taking role.
Oh, you could do, for example, sleight of hand if you're trying to do it like quickly and maybe smoothly. You could do athletics if you want to just like wrench it away.
Yeah, quickly and
Animal
smoothly. Because I'm
Animal handling. I mean, yes, Frankie's dad is a bit of an animal in like the most derogatory way possible, but we're dealing with a baby.
I'm gonna go sleight of hand.
Okay, roll me a sleight of hand check.
That is a 16.
Okay, yeah, I think that's high enough. Frankie, you don't approach the giant mimic dad from the front. You sort of come in quietly, you go around the back of the chair, and you come in from the side, and you kind of like jump and sort of up onto a coffee table. And before the mimic dad can really understand what's happening, you've got your arms around the like bundle of blankets, and you have it in your arms. And you look down, and it's literally a mimic pretending to be a bundle of blankets. And where the baby's face would be, you could see the little 16 eyes and the little weird squiggly smile and a couple of fangs that are sticking out. And the mimic dad turns toward you and says, "What are you doing? You don't get to tell me how to parent my children. Where's my dinner?"
Frankie takes a deep breath in. You say you're the parent? Well, you need to start acting like the parent. I'm tired of taking care of everyone, but I do because it's what I have to do. And you're going to treat me, and you're going to treat my sisters with respect. You're not my dad. My dad died a long time ago.
Frankie, roll me an intimidation check.
Ooh, kick his ass.
That's a 7.
Ooh.
The mimic dad is only infuriated by what you've just said and reaches down and takes the baby back from you and pushes you. And you fall backwards off the coffee table. Flynn, you actually notice that on the other side of the room, so like behind where everyone's looking, a small golden like archway opens up. On the top of the archway, it says Frankie's room.
And it just opens up
It
after.
it just opened up after this exchange. And you also see a third child, Emily. You guys have met Frankie's sisters before. You see Emily off in another corner, hiding behind like a pile of laundry.
Can we try and catch Frankie as he falls off the coffee table?
He's probably a bit far away from you guys.
Can I at least get to him and help him up?
Yeah, you could go over there and help him up if you want to.
Yeah.
But the giant mimic is kind of like coming down on him a little bit. So roll me an athletics check to get over there before he gets grabbed.
It's a 19 to get to Frankie.
Yeah, okay. So you manage to get over there, and you probably have enough time to do one thing before the big hand of Mimic Dad grabs him.
Karen is a mother.
Yeah.
She's a good mum.
She certainly is.
She shields Frankie with her body.
Okay.
So she's trying to push Frankie away and get in the way of the hand and Frankie.
Okay. You brace yourself for what you're sure is a giant hand about to grab you, but it never comes. And you turn, and you can see that the Mimic Dad has just sort of frozen in place, and you can hear that same, like, angry hissing that you could hear when you were trying to cross your circle in your own trial.
Okay, she'll move towards Frankie and hold both his hands and help him up, and she says, "This might be your trial, but we're all here, so don't lose faith. You can do this." And then she kind of still holding one hand, but steps to the side to let Frankie see the mimic again.
Frankie, roll me a history check.
That's a 26.
This really happened. This is a memory of yours of a particularly bad night just after your mother died.
Yes.
Your dad still got both of his legs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember that the first time that this happened, you took your sisters and you put them in your room and you locked the door, and your dad absolutely destroyed the house in response. Like, he tore everything apart. And that was the reason you actually got kicked out of this house, because your dad in a rage destroyed the place while you and your siblings cowered and waited for the storm to be over.
Friend's gonna be like, "Frankie, there's a door archway that's golden, shiny, good."
Good?
Flynn's a little bit panicked about this awkward situation.
Flynn doesn't know how to handle other people's family drama. Like, good.
He has distant parents and overbearing parents. He doesn't know what to do about this.
It's going to be different this time. Frankie's not going to hide anymore. Frankie is going to try and be brave and calm down his father by not using violence.
What do you do?
Knowing that, like, you know, I look around at, like, dramatically at all of my friends and my sisters, and then I, like, slowly get back up on my feet and dramatically I walk up to my dad and, like, well, not put my hand on his shoulders because he's tall, but, you know, when you put your, like, hand out, be like, I know losing mom is hard, and it's not easy raising 4 kids in this economy. I know I haven't been the easiest child to deal with, and I'm sorry. And I just want you to know that I do love you, and I forgive you for everything.
Oh.
Roll me a persuasion check. I think you have an advantage because
Yeah, I
that
was
was
gonna
that
say,
was
with
wicked.
advantage.
That was very good.
That's a 16.
The mimic dad hands you the baby, and then he just kind of sits on the floor, and the bottle kind of falls and like rolls away. And your dad at this point had kind of longer hair because he hadn't groomed himself for a little while.
Yeah.
So the hair is kind of covering up the face, and you sort of look up and it looks up at you, and you can see obviously it's a mimic face, but they've tried. Like it's got your dad's
tried.
It's got your dad's mustache,
Yep.
and the like 31 eyes all dotted around, are all like crying. But
trying so hard.
it's not real. It's not real tears, but they are shape shifting tears, and your dad's voice says, "What are we gonna do? What am I supposed to do?"
We're going to do the best we can. We're going to stick together as a family. I love you, Dad.
And there's a chime. There's a big ringing, resonating bong. You realize you probably need to talk to your real dad at some
I got
point.
some issues,
Because this didn't happen in
This
real
did not
time.
happen, no.
And you watch as your dad just kind of melts into the floor, and the entrance to Frankie's room like also like melts away, and everything melts like down into the floor and into the walls, except for the baby and the 2 sisters kind of linger there for a little bit longer. And something in you says that these kids are what has made you who you are. Like caring for them and being their big brother has been a huge part of what makes Frankie brave. And then the mimics that are pretending to be your family also melt into the floor. You hear whispers coming from the wall, and they say, "Francis Reynolds, you are worthy." You're all kind of spread out a little bit more, but the walls begin to come in, and so you guys like, and
Yeah.
kind of move in. And they only stay this way for a moment, and then they retract again, and you can just see a mimic that looks like Flint.
Oh. Am I still here?
Yeah, you are still there.
Flint's like, is that what I look like from the back?
Yeah, I was like, my butt in that coat.
And all of you hear the whisper that Flynn heard on the first stairwell, the offer to like allow you all to fail in return for passing his own test. And you hear the offer that was made, and you hear the response that Flynn gave, which was essentially refusing.
Bullshit.
Essentially. Not word for word, but like the gist.
Another mimic comes in. It kind of replays the moment from Karen's test, where you were pulling on the rope and you were helping and you were contributing towards Karen's victory, and then it melts away. And then you see a mimic that looks like Idopher standing in front of a mimic that looks like Master Speck, and you can see the mimic that looks like Flynn stepping forwards and announcing the deception, the trick that was being played here, and then the Idopher mimic, which is jawbones are like on point, right? And the Master Speck mimic, also jawbones on point, right? Really good butt on that one, like shrink into the floor. And then you see the test that just passed. You see Frankie's test, and you see the mimic that looks like Flynn pointing out the entranceway and assisting Frankie in making sure that he has all the knowledge that he needs. And then that too shrinks away. And then the mimic that looks like Flynn walks towards you, Flynn. And it says, Flynvar Onagon, you are worthy.
Oh, I thought I was going to fail.
Yeah, yours was the hardest one.
You creepy.
Well, yours was the hidden test. Yours was the test of integrity, where you got offered a free pass and you didn't take it, which is what an integrous person would do.
Yeah.
Kia ora, Penny here. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Something that I've been doing for the last couple of years is directing a D&D live show called the Yes and Charity Stream, and I'm happy to tell you that we're going forward with it again in 2023. The show will take place on the last weekend of August and will feature 50 plus Kiwis playing D&D for 24 hours to raise money for charity. If you would like to be involved in our efforts to raise $20,000 for the Cancer Society this year, please keep an eye out on our social media pages in April. That's when recruiting will open. We're looking for players, DMs, mods, social media homies, and behind-the-scenes people, so whatever your talents are, you can pitch in. I'll carry on keeping you updated here in the mid-card, but if you want to be part of it, feel free to reach out through our JBPC social media pages, which are at JBPC Podcast on Twitter and facebook.com/Janice and Brefford's podcast. Thank you to our JBPC patrons for your support of the show: James Courtwright, Samsara at Gamers ADHD, Waffles, Claire McDonald, Jules Bergesser, Violet, Shabna Lee, Alex Moore, Lyndon Hood, Jesse Weston, Disturbed One EZ, Andrew Evans, Luna Chris, and William Evans. We recently hit our first Patreon goal of $100 per month, so thank you so much to you all for your support and helping us to make our show even better. If you would like to become a supporter of the terrible adventures of the Janice and Brefford's Parchment Company, go check out patreon.com/JBPC podcast. There's multiple tiers with lots of different rewards you can unlock, and I'm making more of an effort to post exclusive content over there. If you want to know how ChatGPT got our show extremely wrong, it's a good place to go check it out. Music credits. Thanks to Asher Falero for Boreal, South London Hi-Fi for Enchanted Forest Dub, Kevin McLeod for Dreams Become Real, Jellyfish in Space, and Cognitive Dissonance, and Jesse Gallagher for Spirit of Fire. Something cool that happened recently, I was voted to join the committee for Kemu Whakato Aotearoa, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to help boost everyone's work in RPG gaming as a community. If you haven't already, check out the Kiwi RPG Discord for ways that we can all come together as a group and support each other's work. The arc finale, Domain of the Ordinary Part 6, will be out on April 2nd. Finally time to finish up this exciting side quest in Titan Slumber. Alright, back to the show.
All of the swirling walls that mimic Icar, all like, you see them all fade, like, you know, sloop upwards into the ceiling. And behind you, you can see the stairs that you first came down. And in front of you, you can see another set of stairs that leads down again. Roll me perception checks, everybody.
21 for Karen.
27 for Ida.
17 for Frankie.
10 for Flynn.
No one really can understand what is being said here, but there are two words in common that Idopher, you're able to sort of like pick out from the sort of cacophony of like dozens of voices all whispering at the same time. It feels like they're scared.
Oh.
And they keep saying the Broodmother, the Broodmother, the Broodmother. And that fades away as they shrink up into the ceiling, leaving the four of you alone in the room.
What? Idopher, you look worried.
Oh, they just keep saying Broodmother.
The thing that the judge was talking about?
Yeah, like, we've probably got to kill something. That's okay.
We don't have any weapons.
We're not emotionally scarred at all.
We didn't have to just go through 4 extremely difficult, heart-wrenching
Traumatic,
trials.
yeah.
Traumatic.
Yeah, but no, I imagine that we've got... Well, okay, so here's the thing, right? We all passed our trial, apparently. It definitely sounds like it. So I can see us getting our amulets soon. And with the power of the amulets, I'm sure we can defeat whatever is in the way, but also...
The power of friendship.
Exactly. These trials have shown us that we can do whatever we put our minds to, so I think we'll be fine.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, we got this.
That's fine.
Good pep talk, Idopher. I feel better.
Thanks. Okay, I'm glad.
So should we go down then? The stairs?
Oh yeah, we should definitely go down.
Okay.
I'd like to take a moment to heal myself a little bit, because I realized I haven't healed myself from the emotional trauma also, but the physical butt injury I received.
Sure. So you
Oh
want
my
to
god,
cast
that's
what,
right.
Cure Wounds on
That was like a
yourself? Or do you
wicked
have a
butt
potion?
injury.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds. I'm gonna slap the salve on me.
Can you roll me an Arcana check?
Yes. It is 27.
Yeah, your healing goes through just fine.
I heal myself for 12 HP.
So I've got 3 inspiration slots left. Can I do 2 for 2 people?
If you want to, they'll last for 10 minutes, and I will let you know when they're up. But yep, you can give out inspiration if you want to.
As he's like getting his stuff ready to inspire us, I'm like, maybe we should wait just in case, right? Like, well, there's an expiry on this, right?
Because you know the DM's just gonna be like, "Cool, you go down the next set of stairs. The stairs take 10 minutes exactly."
Yeah.
Alright.
As we all know, Penny would do something like that. No, I'm joking.
No, I wouldn't
She
do
would
that.
absolutely would not do something like that.
Okay, alright.
There'll
Well,
be time, don't worry.
yeah, when you guys are ready, I'm gonna tell you how cool you guys are. We've got this.
I like how our bard is just like, I give people compliments to inspire them.
It's
Literally just
cute.
words of
I
affirmation.
like
It
it.
works.
And comedy.
It works in real life
Bitch
too.
don't sing.
Yeah.
So we're heading down.
Bitch, don't sing.
We're heading down the stairs.
Yes,
Who is first and who is last?
I'll go first.
Is it dark?
It is dark.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll go in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Karen will bring up the rear. So
Okay.
we've got the 2
Yeah, go in the...
people who
Yeah.
can see in the dark at the front and the back.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about while you're on your way down the stairs?
I'm just gonna check in. Is everyone okay? Because that was pretty traumatic.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about your childhood, Frankie. But you're a cool person, so you grew really well.
Thank
You
you.
grew
So
very
congratulations
well.
for growing on your own.
Thank you.
I've learnt that I need to trust that you all know what you're doing more.
I don't know.
No,
Like,
I
the
do.
test made you do it, but also it's kind of nice when you just do it.
No, but I do though. It's time. I feel like it's time to cut the apron strings, as it were. And you're all very good at what you do, and I need to be able to trust you more. And I think that's part of this test, was showing me that you're all way more capable than any of us were at the start of this adventure.
I feel like you knew that, Karen, because you're always telling us that, but you just like to take charge, and that's totally fine. But also, feel free to let us do what we need to do if you need a break.
Of course. Thank you.
And don't be fearful that you're a micromanager, because you're definitely not. I've had one of those. I did not
Sometimes
do very well in sales.
I do kind of feel like a bit of a micromanager, but it's good
That's
to
sort of your job.
it's good to hear that I'm not.
I want to use magical tinkering.
Okay.
So what I would pick up... Well, usually I would pick up a stone, because when I do light, again, it's like a balm. So I would just smear it on something, but now I just smear it on anything.
Okay, so what do you smear it on?
I'll smear it on my forehead.
Okay.
Just like Simba.
So you've got to imbue the balm with electrum each time you do this. So just roll me an Arcana check first to see how successful you are with that.
That's a 13.
I mean, it's only a level 1 skill. You're just adding light to something. You're doing a cantrip, essentially. So yeah, it does take you a minute, and you do almost fall down the stairs. But luckily, Karen does catch you. And so after a few minutes of walking down these stairs, you are able to sort of cast some light into the space for yourself and Flynn.
Yeah.
And you walk down the stairs, talking about, yourselves and what you've learned for a few minutes. Not long, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. Not 10.
Not quite.
And you start to see light ahead of you. The stairwell opens up into a large semicircular room where you're in the center of the curved side of it, and the far side from you is a flat wall. This is a very, very interesting room. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Ooh.
Roll me perception checks, everybody. And I want to, basically, the way we're going to do this is I want to know who rolls the highest, who rolls the lowest. I want to get...
Okay, Karen rolled a 21.
Flynn rolled a 20.
Frankie rolled a 14.
And I rolled a 12.
Okay. Idopher, this is a big chamber. There are white crystals. Like, you know what a crystal tower is? How they're like kind of hexagonal in shape?
Yep.
And they're kind of like naturally occurring in the walls. And they're casting just enough light into this space that there's this like really nice, clear, white light lighting the space. Frankie, you can see around the circular wall of the room, so 2 on each side, hanging from the ceiling, there are 4 enormous hollow metal cylinders. The 4th one on the far right is broken. It's cracked abruptly through near the top, and the missing piece is not below it, it's just gone. And you take a look at these things, and you realize these are probably the things that are causing that chime that you were hearing, because there's 3 good ones and 1 broken one.
Broken one, yeah.
Flinvar, in the center of the room, there's a semicircular raised sort of 2 stairs up, and then like a semicircular platform. A plinth. And there are 2 things of note on that plinth. The first thing is across the back towards the flat wall, there are 5 busts. And on the 2 left ones and the 2 right ones are your amulets. Just sitting there waiting to be claimed. And just in front of them, in the center of the area, there is a plain white wooden door.
Oh my gosh.
Yay,
a
it's
door!
one of the doors. We love the doors.
And Karen,
Yeah.
on the wall, the flat wall, at the back of the room, enormous, like 40 feet high, there is an enormous mural depicting an apple tree.
Oh.
So you reach the bottom of the stairs, and you're fairly sure this is the grotto.
So I'm going to point out the amulets. I'm going to be like, guys, look.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now's the time for positive affirmation.
Now is the time for positive affirmation.
We got through this together, guys. Our strength and our individuality and our teamwork meant that we're here and we've got our amulets back. And even though at the beginning when we went on that random first trip and we got them and we're like, oh no, these are attached to us and we didn't really want them, but now I want mine and I think that we deserve them and we're the best people to save these cities because we've gone on lots of trips and I need
Got a lot
new
of
boots.
journeys.
But I think together and apart, we've got this.
I agree.
Especially think that Karen and Frankie have got this. And you don't need help with this. You've got this on your own.
Oh, okay, well that was kind of a nice way to.
Okay, I guess. Thank you.
So Karen and Frankie, you have inspiration, which is a D8 for the next 10 minutes. Yep.
Karen wants to immediately, she grabs she doesn't just have the amulet on, she has other jewelry. She immediately pulls an earring out and just kind of chucks it into the middle of the room.
Ah, nice.
Okay.
I was going to do a similar thing.
Roll me a perception check. You just throw it onto the yeah. Okay.
That's a 14.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, nothing happened.
Okay.
There's no response. There's no, traps or anything. it makes like a little clattery noise. You can hear it nice and clear, as you would expect with an earring landing on stone, but no, nothing else happens.
Ido would like to go full, like, Pink Panther and sneak towards the amulet.
Dun, dun, dun.
The amulets are at the back of the plinth, and between you and them is the white door.
Oh, yeah, but we can walk around the white door,
Of
right?
course you can, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take a pretty direct route, like, through the middle.
So yeah, you make your way over there, and just sitting on, and they're just like busts, you know, with like no arms and no, just cuts off at the neck. You can see your amulets there. Roll me a perception check.
That is a 23.
As you get closer, you can feel like a warmth inside you and something that you didn't even realize was missing is close. And you walk up to the pedestal that has the purple one on it, and you realize that it doesn't have the same shape that it did when you first saw it. It's just round, whereas before it was like a crystal shape. And as you approach, it breaks its shape, and part of it kind of liquid-like sort of reaches out towards you.
Like mimic liquid, or...
Exactly like the mimics. Roll me an Arcana check.
Were our necklaces mimics all along?
That would be hilarious.
10.
This feels different, but you're not sure how.
I'm going to pick it up.
As soon as you touch it, it kind of turns to liquid, and it like makes its way up your arm and to the center of your chest, and the necklace part of it like wraps around your neck, and it settles into its familiar crystal shape, and you feel whole.
Oh, I'm Venom.
In a way,
It gives me real Venom vibes.
in a way,
though.
we are all Venom.
We are all Venom.
We are all Venom.
But I'm the coolest one.
This is definitely your amulet,
fantastic.
as it has always been, but it has never revealed its true nature to you before now.
Oh, so they've always been... That's so weird.
They've always been our little mimicky friends.
Yeah, that's kind of adorable.
And you can remember, like, way back when you got your, like, signature weapons, you remember hearing, like, a gurgle or, like a burp or something, and you kind of put it together that, like,
yeah,
like, these things have always
We just have
been
sweet
this. They
little...
just haven't shown themselves to us before.
Of course, first off, the first thing I'm going to do is try and pull out Commands back up and just make sure that's still working.
It is completely successful. You draw your sword, and while you hold it, you realize that, like, this is something, like, this isn't like a hologram or like a hard light thing. It's very likely that what is happening is your amulet is creating this out of its own, like, body, out of its own self.
I put my Commands back up and I'm like... I look down at the amulet thing. So this is what you've been this whole time? Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna, like, put my hands over my, like, kind of hold myself. I'm just like, oh, I missed you.
Flynn's like, Ido, are you good?
Oh, yeah. You guys should come grab your amulets.
Oh,
It's safe?
Yeah, seems to be.
oh, thank you, Idopher. And I'll Karen will trot over, picking up her earring on the way.
The same thing happens to each of you as you approach your amulets. They start off as, like, flat and circular, but as you get close, their form reaches out towards you in the same way that the mimics did. Although these ones don't have the, like, squiggly face that the other ones couldn't seem to hide. They don't have any faces. They reach out towards you, and when you touch them, they, like, slurp their way up your arms and settle around your necks, and the strap part of them goes, around behind your necks, and they settle in, and each of you feels that something that had been missing from inside of you, something that was a part of who you were, has now returned to you.
This is nice.
And you each now have full access to your weapons and your spells and your abilities and everything again.
I just take a
I'm
big,
sure
deep
that that's
breath.
going to be all good, and we're not going to have to fight anything very scary immediately. I look up at the ceiling.
I look at the amount of time we have left on this episode and I'm like, nah, yeah, there's definitely a battle.
The ceiling, this is like a big, tall cavern. Kind of like a well, and you're at the bottom of it. You don't really see anything in the ceiling, but you do take note a little bit of the detail of the painting.
I'll kind of step off the plinth and walk over to the big mural of the apple tree and say, this feels familiar somehow. And I'll just go up close to it and inspect it.
Okay, roll me an insight check.
19.
It's enormous, and you're quite small, but you can make out enough. The painting depicts an apple tree, lush and green and rich with fruit. The tree itself is like really healthy, and it's drawn in a way that is quite reverent to its form. Some of the fruit has fallen to the ground, and on the ground, ants and insects are enjoying the feast. Some ants are harvesting the seeds of one of the apples, fallen and split perfectly in two. Those and others are then making their way back up the tree with the seeds, and when they reach the top, they're tending to the tree, caring for it, helping to make new buds grow so that more apples can fall and feed the insects below.
It's a metaphor.
I feel like I'm not quite understanding the metaphor, though. I've never been very good at fine art.
That's okay.
I went to university. I did a couple of those courses. You know,
Like a philosophy paper
Yeah,
or
you know,
something.
night school while the kids were growing up. And I
While
just
the
never-
children.
Flinva, roll me an intelligence check.
14.
You can't quite put together too much more than this, but you remember that when you asked Poet what the deal with your amulets were, he showed you a picture of an apple tree.
Oh. Yeah, hey, hang on. And then he's like,
What?
This is, the person, Poet, he showed me, and was talking about this when he was talking about the amulets.
Really?
It's all connected.
Frankie and Idopher, both of you roll me insight checks.
That's a 21 for Ido.
15 for Frankie.
Idopher, there's one detail that, like, when Karen's talking about this painting, that she didn't quite notice that you do notice. And that's the seeds that are carried back up the apple tree are different colors, and the seeds that stay, like, on the ground and, you know, just grow new trees on like much smaller plants on the ground stay the regular, like, black brown color. There's one thing that you pick up that Karen didn't.
So the ones that are being lifted up are coloured.
Yes.
Okay.
What
are they the
colours?
colours of high amulets, perhaps?
Many colors. All,
Oh, okay.
all colors of the rainbow. Yeah, you can pick out a blue one, you can pick
this
out a red
is
one, but there are
inclusive.
The ants, the magic system in this world.
the seeds that are being carried up the tree are all different colors.
I point that out. I'm like, I wonder if this has anything to do with the colours of our amulets. And also, if that is the case, I wonder if there are more amulets out there.
Not just 5.
Mm.
Frankie, didn't you have a dream about a bluebird and an apple tree?
Church of Dalton.
Yes. I remember you telling us about it. It all seems to come back to apple trees.
I do remember the bird, yes.
Are there any birds in the mural of the apple tree?
No, you don't, like, it's all insects.
While those guys are looking at it, I'm going to open the white door.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 21.
You reach out and you touch the handle of the white door, and it immediately grows teeth and tries to snap down on you.
I'm going to give it a little bonk on the nose, be like, hey!
But this is no ordinary mimic. This one is a different color. Its teeth are much, much bigger. And its eyes are much, like, angrier. You manage to pull your hand away as the teeth snap down on you.
It's like the kind of mimic you would fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll for initiative.
Probably should have used the compass on that first. The compass that I still have that we never use.
Probably, but you didn't.
We never do.
I'm 4.
Karen got a 15.
Frankie got a 7.
Flinva got 17.
So, by the way, everybody except Idopher is about 20 feet away. So Idopher and the Broodmother mimic are in the center, and everybody else is about 20 feet away, like around the back of the plinth. It's probably going to take you maybe 30 to 40 feet of movement to get into melee distance, unless you want to climb over the sort of, like, back part that the busts
Vault
are
the
on.
plinth?
Yep. The Broodmother mimic is bearing down on Idopher, and it's quite a bit, like, it's got a lot more mass, and it's like grey-white coloured, where all the other ones were, like, inky black, and it is bearing down on Idopher. Flinvar, you're up first. What do you do?
Flynn's going to try and cast fear on it.
Okay. What do I need to roll as a saving throw?
It must succeed a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. It got a 10, but it's going to use a legendary resistance to automatically pass. So we haven't done this. We haven't got there
Yeah, I was
before,
like,
but you guys are
ooh.
getting to be high level now. Some
we get high level
creatures,
big bosses.
some creatures have legendary resistances, and which they can use to automatically pass saves, but they do have a limited amount of them. So that's your action. Do you have any bonus actions that you'd like to make?
Oh, I need to summon my sword.
Yep, sure.
Okay, I'll
The
try my laughing
or you-
blade.
Okay, so you summon your laughing
I
blade.
haven't used that enough.
Do you use any movement?
Yes, I will climb to the top of the plinth.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics check.
22.
Yeah, you successfully sort of climb up the back wall of the plinth. You're standing on like a short wall behind where the busts are. You are probably now 15 feet away from melee range with the mimic.
Okay.
Next up is Karen.
Karen would like to use her bonus action to rage,
Of course you would.
please. My bonus action, rage, gives me 17 feet of movement.
Okay.
So Karen sprints. She's not going to leap the plinth
Okay.
because she's got more than enough speed to get there.
Okay.
She sprints 17 feet. She uses her movement to move a further 35 feet. That gives me 52 feet of movement.
You only need 40 to get to
Exactly.
within. You only need 40 feet to get within melee range.
Exactly, but while I'm running, I use my free action to summon the Temperate Great Axe.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack the... Which side was Idopher on? So am I attacking the mimic's back, or am I attacking its front?
One of the sides of the door was facing towards the stairs, and one of the sides of the door was facing towards the busts. Which side did you try to open it from?
I tried to open it from the side of the stairs.
Okay, so I think either way you'd be coming at it from the side.
I'm going to attack with a big downward slash with the Temperate Great Axe, adding 1d6 of cold.
It's a bonus action to add elemental damage, and you've
You're
already
right,
used your bonus
it
action.
is. So I'm not going to do that, but I've already got the Temperate Great Axe up. So I will roll to hit. Oh, oof. That's a 10 to hit.
That does not hit.
No, it sure doesn't. It surely doesn't.
So what happens is you come at it from the side thinking, oh cool, I'm flanking, I'm going to be able to hit it easily. And you swing your axe and the liquid just like parts itself around where your axe would be. And you can kind of see that this thing's got like little white eyes just all over it. And maybe it can actually see in every direction.
Yeah, probably. Okay, well, I'm going to try and attack again.
Yep.
Still not very good. 13.
13 is a hit.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll me damage.
12.
It has resistance to slashing damage, so it's going to take 6 damage from you. Your axe gets stuck in the like gloopy body of the Broodmother mimic.
I thought it would, but that's my turn. I'm still holding onto my axe. I'm not letting go of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up is the Broodmother. It is going to, the mouth that is facing Idopher is going to like disappear into it, and it is going to appear right in front of you, Karen. It's going to take a bite at you, which it has advantage on because
I'm right there.
because your weapon is embedded in its body. Does a 16 hit you?
Sure does.
Wicked.
Oof.
Karen, that is
Yeah.
going to be 11 slashing damage, 4 acid damage.
Oof. Oh, I do gain. I do have resistance to the slashing though.
Okay, but
So
you're not
that's-
using the bear at the moment?
No, I'm not using the bear.
Okay.
So that is instead what? 5 damage?
Yeah,
5
yeah.
slashing.
So
Yeah.
5 slashing damage and 4 acid damage. And your axe is still stuck in its body, and then it is going to do a bite attack against Idopher.
I can use my reaction to attack an adjacent creature that attacks someone else. So if it hits, I'm going to attack.
Okay, cool, that's fine. What ability is that?
Sentinel.
Idopher, you are not currently stuck in its body, so it does not have advantage against you.
Nice. It does.
And it's 48 damage.
Does a natural 20 hit?
Yeah, yeah.
Woo!
Go ahead and roll your double damage.
I was going to say, I'm also going to use Hellish Rebuke as my reaction.
Cool, yeah, absolutely. So you're going to take 10 slashing damage and 5 acid damage, and so both of you can roll your reaction damages.
Holy shit! I rolled an 11 and a 12.
And I'll say with the natural 20, how this attack works is you actually like continue swinging your axe from being stuck in its body to being out of its body.
Yeah.
Because you roll a natural 20, your axe is no longer embedded, and the damage that you do is the result of like kind of finishing the cut through it.
Woo!
So that was, did you say 21 damage?
That is 32 damage, but obviously halved because slashing.
So 16 as well. Idopher, what's your damage?
15 fire damage,
Cool.
but they have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh, not great. That's only 8. from
Yeah, all
dexterity
good, so they
saving
take the
throw.
full
The body
damage.
of it, like where your fire like kind of streaks through it.
Oh, okay, so it's weak to fire.
Roll me an insight check.
Burn, baby, burn.
Disco Inferno. Alright, 19.
It does seem like maybe it does not like being hit by fire.
Okay, can I
Flint
take
does
a
smiles.
Actually, like some of its mass actually disappears where it's hit by the fire, kind of like candy floss in water. Next up is going to be Frankie.
Well, now I'm just going to change the spell I was going to use.
Hell yeah.
I would like to first move so that I'm more in range.
Okay, you're currently there's a small stone wall in between you and it, but if you went around it, you would probably actually be be about the same 20 feet away from it. But if you went around the wall,
Okay.
there's just an obstacle in the way. If I had a map drawer, or if we had like the map thing open right now, it'd be easy. But there's like a semicircle small wall that you could climb over and be 10 feet, 15 feet from it, or you can go around and still be 20 feet from it.
You know, I want to climb up it.
Cool, roll me an acrobatics check. And don't stand on your scarf this time.
I rolled a 13.
Yeah, that's enough to climb over a small stone wall. I think you're fine. You're standing next to Flint.
Okay, and then I would like to cast Cantrip Firebolt.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Go ahead and roll. Is it an attack or a spell attack?
Spell attack 19 to hit.
19 hits.
That's 16 fire damage.
16 fire damage. Takes that damage. Oof. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Frankie would just like to stand up and just be like, "Ah!" That's his battle cry.
Okay.
I love that battle cry.
At the end of your turn, it is going to use a legendary action. It is going to spawn. So next to Idopher, under Idopher at Karen's feet, it spawns 2 smaller mimics. They are both white, not black like the other mimics. They have no form, but they're basically like a sticky puddle underneath both of your feet. You will require a strength
A
check.
sticky white puddle, huh?
Sticky grey puddle. A sticky grey... No, that's worse. There's a sticky puddle underneath your feet. You will require strength checks to get away. And they will take... They both get their own turns, and they will take those turns after the Broodmother.
Okay.
Frankie's had his turn. Idopher, you're up.
Do I need to make a strength check first?
If you want to move.
Yeah, my plan was to use a bonus action to dash back.
Cool. So to break a grapple is either an athletics or an acrobatics check. Your choice. The DC is 15.
Cool, alright.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to do like a sweet like cartwheel flip out and like wrench your feet out of it. There is
So I rolled a
the thing
15
is still
plus
there,
3, so I'm all
but
good.
now you're free to move.
Wicked. Alright, so my plan was to use a bonus action to dash back.
Cool. It's gonna if you do that, it is going to use its reaction to take an attack of opportunity against you.
Okay, yep, I'm cool with that.
That's 13 plus 5.
Yes, that would hit.
That is 8 piercing damage and 6 acid damage.
So 14 in total. So I'm going to use my... I forget what it's called, but it's the thing where I can use my reaction to take half damage.
Evasion. So that brings you down to half damage.
Yes.
Cool. So that is 3 acid damage and 4 piercing damage instead.
Nice.
So a total of 7. Cool. How far away from it are you going to move?
So with dash you can do double your movement, Okay, well I'm not going to do double, but I'm going to move back. Wait, how big is this room?
It has a 50-foot radius, so it's 100 feet all the way across.
Okay, sweet. So I'm going to jump back. 45 feet.
Okay. That is cool. Yeah, so you going towards the stairs or towards like one of the walls?
Towards the stairs.
Okay, towards the stairs.
And then I will use my free action to pull out a short bow.
Yeah, okay, cool. That is fine. Next up is top... Oh, actually now it is a time for a lair action.
Ooh.
So what's going to happen is one of the chimes is going to go off.
Oh,
So you hear that loud bong. And what that is going to mean is that anything that requires you guys to use sound is going to have like a roll, like a bad roll against you guys to
Okay, so if
communicate
you had
with each
like
other.
a speaker spell or something.
Sound is essentially at disadvantage at the moment because the room is reverberating with this big loud chime noise that is going off.
mockery!
Yeah,
You
so
bitch!
anything with a somatic component.
Or you guys trying to communicate with each other through
Yeah.
talking. Flynn, you're up.
Well, he doesn't know about he'll still try the vicious mockery.
So I need you to roll an Arcana check to overcome the chime.
15?
15 is enough. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
I was like, a 10!
DC is only 13.
Okay, cool. So Flynn's going to use the laughing blade and do like a I don't know how it works.
Yep.
Watcha! And like swish around his head and then point it at the thing and say, if I wanted to be around an overbearing mother with an identity crisis, I would have stayed at home.
Because this is a saving throw and you're using the laughing blade, there is a penalty of your charisma to its saving throw. So what is your charisma bonus?
I've got +4 for charisma.
Cool, so I'm going to roll a wisdom saving throw and I'm going to have -4. That is only a 2, so that is successful. And also +4 to the damage, so go ahead and roll me... You are 5th level, so roll me 2d4 +4.
3 damage +4.
So 7 damage?
7 damage, yep.
You like basically do a big cool blast of psychic energy, and it's boosted by the laughter of your laughing blade. So you tell this joke and your laughing blade like reacts like a good audience, and you blast it with psychic damage.
As a bonus action, can I try and overcome the sound of the room and say, if you guys spread out, I can use fireball, but I don't want to roast you guys.
Okay, roll me an Arcana check to see if you can get past the sound of the chime.
10.
No, unfortunately, the party does not hear you telling them to spread out. Karen, you're up.
Okay, I will use my action to try and break the grapple.
Go ahead.
That is it's just a straight up strength check.
Yes. Oh, it's an athletics check.
Oh, it's an athletics check. Even better. That's a 25. 35.
35. That definitely beats the grapple DC of 13. So yeah, you are now out of the gross puddle.
Nice.
Which we will not make any allusions to.
Am I still within melee range?
If you move to the side, yes. If you move to the back, no.
Oh well, I'm just going to move back now. I'm
Okay.
just going to get out of it. It'll make an attack of opportunity.
It's already
but-
done that against Idopher, so it doesn't have a reaction right now.
Thanks, Idopher.
Yeah, Karen's just going to step all the way back.
Okay.
She's going to step 20 feet back from the beastie.
Yeah, it is the Broodmother's turn. It is going to reabsorb, so it's going to move over the puddles and reabsorb them and heal itself for 10 healing. And then it's going to head over towards you, Karen, and it's going to use its action to engulf you.
Oh, God.
So it is big, gross thing of like living liquid. It's going to move 20 feet towards you, and rather than attack you, it's just going to move over your space. Basically, the Broodmother charges towards you, and you're bracing yourself for an attack, but it just sort of moves on top of you, and now you are glooped inside of it. You realize that you can't see, and you can't breathe, and you're entirely engulfed within this Broodmother goop.
Greetings! We are 8 mimics pretending to be Frank's dad, and we want to thank you for listening to the show. What a good boy. He's going to do great.